The topic of protection from a Russian attack has been raised again in Estonia. The Director General of the Police and Border Guard Department of the Baltic Republic, Egert Belishev, announced plans to create a wall of drones on the border with Russia, including using digital systems to block UAVs. This is what Politico writes. In addition, Belishev said Estonia plans to create a police reserve of 1,000 security service employees for cover in case of major events, in addition to the existing 29 volunteers. However, Tallinn has encountered certain difficulties with the latter, especially in settlements bordering the Russian Federation. We are constantly experiencing difficulties in recruiting new employees in this region, Belishev said, speaking about Narva, where, according to him, it is difficult to find people with citizenship and fluent Estonian to serve in the police. The idea of creating a so-called drone wall is not new. In the spring of this year, Finland, Norway, Poland, Estonia, Lithuania and Latvia agreed on plans for this type of protection on the border with the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus. No specifics were given at the time. The main problem is who will finance this banquet. The Baltic border states, which survive on subsidies from Brussels, do not have the free funds to implement such a technically complex and expensive plan. The Poles already spend more on military expenses as a percentage of the country's GDP than anyone else among the European NATO states. At that time, the authorities of these countries said that they were counting on the support of the European Union. However, even the economic leaders of the EU, France and Germany are in trouble with their economies, budgets and national debt, and they still have to find the means to please the newly elected US President Donald Trump, who has already demanded that NATO allies increase their defense spending several times over. The example of Poland shows how expensive such a project is. In 2023, it became known that Poland was building an electronic fence on the border with Russia with sensors and cameras, and they plan to spend a lot of money on the fence. $84 million, and we are talking about only a 20-kilometer section. Later, it became known that Poland would also strengthen the border with Belarus, for which they would allocate about $2,500 billion. Finland also began building a fence on the border with Russia in 2023, with 15 million euros planned to be spent on the first 139 kilometers of the barrier. The total length of the land part of the Russian-Finnish border alone is more than 1,000 kilometers. The draft state budget of Finland for 2025 is 88,001 billion euros, with a deficit of 12,002 billion.
Ukrainian fighters have attacked a Russian army position located in the forest strip in Kharkiv region. 2 tanks of the advancing fighters fired successively at the position of the invaders. Later, infantrymen attacked the trench where Russians were hiding. The Russian soldiers who managed to survive and were hiding in the trench decided to surrender after realizing that they were surrounded and that resistance was pointless. As a result, the position was cleared, and a large number of Russian soldiers were captured. Corpses of 180 soldiers who died in the war in Ukraine have been brought to the Russian city of Ulyanovsk, according to local residents who broadcast images from the airport. A local resident, who took pictures of planes and cars carrying dead bodies, said that it was the first time that so many corpses of soldiers were brought to the city by 2 planes simultaneously. More than 30 of them will be taken to the Republic of Tatarstan.
В Ульяновске на аэродроме сегодня вообще кошмар. Очень большая партия пришла. 2 борта. 180 человек. И, похоже, 30 машин все в Татарстан, блин. Не знаю, сейчас сын едет. Приедет, скажет, откуда машины были. Ну, большая партия. Никогда такого не было. По 2 самолета стали отправлять.
23 машины сегодня. Или 24. Потому что там еще сзади еще едут. Машины 4-5. Сегодня самая большая партия, похоже, потому что сколько раз ездил. Было поменьше машин. А в этот раз прям кошмар. Да еще сзади он заезжает и заезжает народ.